Hi, good morning. It's Sue. I've got it on the wrong screen. There we go. That's better. Welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I know everything's on TV is Happy St. Patrick's Day right now. So I was watching some things this morning and it was really cool. They had some little girls doing the Irish dancing and stuff, and that was fun. So welcome today. We're going to have a really great class. This is going to be class number 1 in 3, maybe 4 Easter classes leading up to Easter, which is in April. Oh, April. Oops, that's May. April 20th. Okay, April 20th. Yeah, I thought that was the date, but I wasn't sure. So we're going to be doing different things this week. I'm going to kind of concentrate a little bit on more faith-based cards and candy box type of thing. And so I hope you enjoy that. You can actually adapt it really easily to be whatever you want, and I'll show you some options for that. I am going to turn you down now to my desk so that we can see what I have to share with you. Just a reminder that through March and April, we have our mini catalog, which is out. And you can see actually everything online if you don't have a catalog. You can just look at it online. They have the catalogs online, as well as, don't forget, the online exclusives. There's a ton, like 12 pages worth of online exclusives of things that are available. Our new annual catalog drops in May, and they just shared it with some people at the Stampin' Up! Convention, which is called On Stage. That was in Raleigh, North Carolina, just this past week. A lot of people went to that. If you have placed an order with me this year of at least $50, I will send you a catalog. I'll put you on my list. I can only order those catalogs to be sent to you in March, and I can only do one order, so I have to get them all in the same order. So if you haven't ordered from me yet this year and you would like a free catalog, just place the $50 order by March 27th, and I will put you on my list for the free catalog, and you will get it. They said they're guaranteed to be there by May 9th, probably before that, probably the end of April, but they're guaranteed by May 9th. So, if you have already ordered from me this year, your name is on my list and you will be getting a catalog. If you haven't ordered from me this year and you would like a catalog from me, just place an order and I'll put you on the list. Okay? Thank you very much for doing that. I want to remind you, host codes. Host codes are going away in April. And they're doing a whole new thing where you are going to be your own host, and as soon as you spend $20, you start earning host rewards. The threshold right now is $150 before you become a host. So this is going to make it a lot easier for you to start earning and saving points, and you can save your host rewards points for, I think, up to a year. So you could like accumulate a lot of them and then buy something you really, really want, you know. But right now for March, this is my host code, and I have that linked below in case you can't see it very well. My camera crooked. This camera, it just gets knocked out of alignment really easy. There we go. So use my host code this month. If you need to contact me, my email, my phone number is also linked in my description, just in case you can't see all this stuff. I know it's kind of hard to see. And the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is my specials for this month, because I always run some specials. So a $40 order will I will send you the materials to make 4 cards. Okay. Now you have to have your own stamps and ink. I can't stamp anything, but I can cut things for you. I can cut paper. And one of the cards is this one that I use with text. I use textured florals. Any kind of images that you want to stamp and put in the shape, because I'll cut the card base, I'll cut the arch, I can emboss the arch for you, but you have to have your own stamps and ink. If you want to, purchasing this set of all the sentiments, it's called Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera Pack, and I have that linked below. And it has all sorts of sentiments that you just, I mean, they just fall out of there, and you stick them on. And that's what I used on this one. And I'll cut the inside, but again, you got to have your own stamps and ink to do these cards. And you can tell me what colors you like. I have 2 designs. I have this one where you cut stuff out and put it on, and then I have this one that you stamp. And I use textured florals. You might have that one, or if you have any other floral or whatever you like, you know, you can just do it in these patterns, and they work great. I'm going to show you a different stamp set in a minute that would also look cute. That's more masculine. And then I have these colors too. And you can tell me. I'll email you and I'll ask you when I see your order if you have a preference on color, on what your background colors like. If you're going to do blues, or if you're going to do this one is really neutral because it's white and it's crumb cake, so you can put almost any color here. I chose pinks to put on mine, and then I did crushed curry, and I did a wild wheat background, even though I stamped it pretty much the same with the same colors. And you can go back to my February 24th video on YouTube or Facebook, and you can see all the directions on how I did these. But this is the card kit. When I'm talking card kits, this is the card kit. You get enough for 4 cards, 2 of each design, but you do need your own stamp snake. With a $50 order, I'll send you the card kits and a package of gems. With a $60, and this also puts you in that category, if you haven't ordered from me before, to get a free catalog at the end of April, first part of May. And I have another special offer for the $50 order. A $60 order is 4 card kits, gems, and 2 PDF files. PDFs are directions you have to have your own stuff. You have to have your own paper, you know, and all your own stuff. But these are the cards that the PDF file describes and all the measurements. It has pictures, directions, everything. And then this is the other one. This yellow one opens up like this. It has an inside fold, and it's really cute. So that's the PDF offering once you hit the $60 threshold. And the $150, don't use my host code, because then you do become your own host, and you will start getting Stampin' rewards depending on how much you spend. And they tell you on your order that you've earned X number of dollars in free product, and you get to pick whatever you want. Okay, so that brings me to my other offer this month. I got in the mail, I'm a paper pumpkin subscriber, and I got this brand new paper pumpkin. This is March's paper pumpkin, and you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, and the link is in my description. And this is their anniversary month, so instead of 1 set of stamps, they have 2 sets of stamps in this. They have a Lost Lagoon inking spot, And then they have all this beautiful stuff. And I'm going to give this away this month. For every $50 that you spend in my store, I'm just going to take it out of this tissue because it makes so much noise. I don't want to unwrap this because I'm giving it to someone. But it has directions. There will be online alternate directions on how to complete these cards in another way. But as you can see, they're just very springy. They've got all these daisies and these little bees. And I don't know if you can see this on the stamps. I need a white piece of paper, which for some reason is hard to come by. They have the honeycombs. Can't read that. Happy birthday, a floral, a little hello. Then the second stamp set. Gotta figure out which way is up. There we go. It says, wishing you a brighter day, days ahead. Thank you. Wishes for sweet birthday. They have a bee that is so cute. I don't have a bee. Oh my gosh. Anyway, little honeycombs. It's just the cutest stamp set. Or two, and it's extra. Usually they always send one stamp set, but this month they sent 2 stamp sets. So I'm giving this away for free. I will send it to you or bring it to you if you live close, whatever. For every $50 you order in my online store this month, for the rest of the month, until the 31st, you will earn 1 ticket in my drawing for every $50. So if you order $50 worth of product before tax and shipping, that'll get you 1 ticket. If you ordered $100 this month total, then before tax and shipping, you'll get 2 tickets in my drawing. And then at the end of the month, I will draw, and you will get this paper pumpkin kit. It is completely, I mean, everything, there's sticky dots in here, there's dimensionals in here. The only thing you need is a pair of scissors. You probably have a pair of scissors somewhere, right? Everything else is included. So that is my extra special for this month, is a paper pumpkin drawing for every $50. I didn't finish talking about this. The $150, or maybe I did. The $150 order. Don't use my host code. You will become the host. But then starting next month, sometime next month, I think, you start becoming the host at a $20 threshold, which is, really fabulous. That's a great deal for you guys. Okay, today we are going to make these little cross cards, and they are so cute, and they fold and they fit in an envelope like that. They fold and they fit in an envelope. And on the back, I think I put it on the back of one of them. It's a don't stick this part on the back until you write on it, because it's really hard to write, of course, on something that's going to be, 3-dimensional and bumpy, even when you flatten it out. So my advice is to wait until you finish the card. And I made the backs for these other 2. I made this back that I'll write on, and I made this back that I'll write on, and then I'll stick them on the cards. And I'm going to show you, demonstrate, and give you the measurements for making these cute 3-dimensional, stand up for display Easter cards. You can put whatever you want. Piece I give unto you, that was from an old set that I have called Easter Lilies. It was from last year, and so I got that piece out of this one. But the other one with Faith was from Unbounded Love. Yeah, Unbounded Love, which is current, and it's linked below. They have a lot of different things you could put on there. And these cards are not good for just Easter. They're good for sympathy cards. They're good for confirmations or baptisms. You know, lots of different things that you could use a cross card for. Okay. So let's get cracking today making these cards, and I hope you like them. I cased this card, and cased means I looked at somebody else's video and saw this idea. Her name is Bethany Bernard, and she is just really talented gal. I wrote this down somewhere. Oh yeah, Bethany Bernard. Stampin' in the Barnyard is her stamp site. You can find her online if you would like to look at her videos. And so that's who I cased, and I changed it up just a little bit. You know, she did hers. I think, if I remember right, she did it with this, the perennial lavender paper, which is really pretty, and that's in our current catalog. This is my perennial lavender. You can see I've cut up a lot of it, but it's beautiful paper. It makes beautiful cards of all kinds, and so that was what I used on this particular cross. You can see they fold either way so that you can mail them. So I'm going to start out with the card base. There's like a lot of pieces and parts, a lot of moving parts here. A card base, which is 3.5 by 5.5, which is smaller than usual because we've got that folding cross that has to go to this one side or the other, so it'll still fit in the envelope. So 3.5 by 5.5. I'm doing this one in Daffodil Delight, and I'm using a new paper called Floral Delight. It's beautiful. I love ginghams and I love florals, so I picked two that were complementary, these two, from this Floral Delight paper. And again, I have that linked below. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. I love it. So I started out with Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to show you all the cardstock pieces first. The popping up mechanism that makes the card move, I did on basic white, and it is 5 inches across and 5.5 inches down. So on the short side, on the 5-inch side, you will slide that in your paper trimmer, or if you have a simply scored board, I have one of those too, but I did do this in my paper trimmer. And you're going to score on the 5-inch side, and you score at 1 inch, and make sure you put your cutting blade all the way down and just use your scoring blade, which is the lighter color, you know, and run that up. Okay, so I scored at 1 inch, 1 7/8 inch, 3 1/8 inch, and 4 inches. Okay, so that those scores were 1 7/8, 3 1/8, and 4. And we're going to be folding these like this so that the cross will pop up. And it's going to fit on that yellow piece I just showed you, so you can see how it's going to pop up. Looks like that. Okay. So the scoring is like super important. Okay. Now I have some mats that are going to go under the Designer Series paper. And these, I all cut these from Daffodil Delight, all of them. Okay. So I have 2 mats cut 2 at 7/8 across and 5 1/4, and they are going to go on the outside. I'm going to flatten this back out. They're going to go on the outside. 7/8 of an inch across, 5 1/4 down. So there's just going to be a 1/8 border on that. Okay. Then the next two are both going to be cut by 5/8 of an inch by 5 1/4. Okay. Same length, but just a little narrower, and they go on the next section. And the next one, you cut just one, and it's 1 1/8 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go in the middle. Okay, so those are all your mats that will go on. We're going to make it fit. We're going to bend it and make it fit on this piece that was 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Okay. So then you can kind of decide the pattern that you want your DSP to be in. I was working with the gingham and the floral, and I could easily change this to floral. You know, it's whatever you want. But I did want the gingham in the middle. So I decided to put these ginghams on the outside, and these were 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/8 inch. So they're just going to have a tiny border out here, like that. And then I brought in my floral, and they're skinnier. They're 1/2 inch by 5 1/8, and they're going to go on this part. And then to make the cross in the middle, I went back to white. I did 1 1/4 inches. Well, it's actually 1 1/4 inches this way by 3 1/8. Okay, and that's going to go here. And then my DSP is 2 7/8 by 1, and that's going to go on top of that. And then we're going to put a focal point on top of that. So those are the measures of all the things that we're going to use today. So all we do to get started, well, then there's the back. Remember, the back, you're going to go ahead and cut it, but don't stick it on until you're ready. You've already written on it. So the back is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then I cut a little strip that was 3/4 by 3 1/4, and I would just glue the strip. These silicone mats come in really handy because I can wipe the glue right off of them, and I could put this pretty side or the gingham side. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the flowers on this side. Yeah. And I'm just gonna use a little scrap because I got a little too generous with my glue, and I just take a scrap when I am a little too generous and kind of wipe it down like that. So this is my back, and I'm just going to get it ready and place it at the bottom. I'm going to leave a little border right at the bottom. So that's my back. I'm just going to set it to the side. I'm not going to glue it on until I get all this other stuff glued on. So what I want to do before I glue on all these many pieces is I'm going to set them out. I have them together, what goes with what. And I shared those measurements with you. And of course, on the replay, you can just rewind it as many times as you need to write that down. So I have my bendy portion that I'm going to be gluing onto, but the first thing I want to do is glue these on. And I do recommend glue over tape when you're gluing these on, because they have really narrow borders and it allows you to have a little wiggle room so that you can get your borders even. So I'm looking top, bottom, side to side. They all need, well, it looks like maybe 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't look like 1/8 to me. Okay. Set these to the side a little more. But this cross card is really beautiful, and I think it's really meaningful to people to get something like this, and they're so surprised when they open the envelope and see something like this come out. And like I said, it stands beautifully for display. And you can write, you know, something on the back, and that's my next one. So I'm just going to set these to the side to dry a little bit while I'm working on these. So I've got all my patterns in the order that I want them to go in. And I did discover that I want to make a little dot in those corners so the corners are held down well and they don't curl up. I had some that curled because I didn't get, ooh, I did not cut that exactly right. It's not 5 1/4, it's 5 1/2. Oops. I was cutting these last night. I spent like all day at church yesterday. It was one of those days where things were going on, and my small group was helping to cook. Not that I did any cooking, mind you, but I was chopping and running errands. We had Nerfs and nachos for families at the church last night, and so that required a lot of people working very hard in the kitchen. And we have one guy, Ray. He does all the cooking. He's professional, and he tells us what to do, and he manages all of us, which is like herding cats, I'm sure. And anyway, so we cooked, we served, you know, we cleaned up. It was a very full day for me for a Sunday, because I usually use Sunday to prep my classes. And then I had to come home, and it was kind of late by the time I got in here. And hence, this is my explanation for this cutting mistake. That should be a 5 1/4. So, again, I'm doing the corners to make sure they stick down. And now I want to start adhering, and so this is going to be like a double mat, because the white is going to be part of the mat, and the Daffodil Delight is a mat, and then the DSP is on top of that. And then I'm going to do my middle section. Again, it's really nice with the glue because I can slip it for a minute and get it centered. You don't want to be right on the score line, otherwise it's really hard to fold. You want to leave a little tiny space between the score line and the item that you're gluing on. In this case, it's just strips of paper, but still you don't want to interfere with that score line because that's where it's meant to bend. all my gingham on. And so now I'm going to put my flowers on the other two spaces. Okay, now before I put the cross on, I'm going to glue this to the card base, this 3.5 by 5.5. And this is the same heights on purpose so that it will stand up. If you make it shorter, it tips over. I mean, it'll stand up a little bit, but it tips over. So that's why it's exactly the same height. So what I do, this is still a little bit wet, so it's a little bit hard to do. Wipe off my hands a little bit. Because if I use glue, I get glue all over my hands. So it's easier to center this if you fold it and because you're going to want a border of the Daffodil Delight to show on each side. So I'm going to put this on the back of these two outside edges. I don't think I'll put that down yet. And if I fold it, I can get it much more evenly spaced. And I can hold that down. And I'm going to fold this back and put my glue on. I got too much at the bottom again, so I'm going to wipe that off. I don't want that to come out. Okay. And then I'll fold it back. I'm going to move it up just a little. There we go. Okay. So then I can make my pop out, come out, and I have a little bit of Daffodil Delight, then I have the white, then I have Daffodil Delight, then I have the DSP. Oh, I'm so sorry. I should look up more. I don't know how long that's been off. I'm so sorry. I thought I had that on. I hope I wasn't explaining that whole thing and you're going, I can't see a thing. Okay, glued everything on, and I got it on there. Okay, so I'm gonna glue my cross together with my gingham. I don't know why my camera switches like that so easily, because you have to literally press a button to make it switch. And to glue the cross on, you can glue it on with glue, but then it takes quite a while to set it up. And it slips around and you can't get it just right. So I do use some tape just right in the middle of the cross, because that will adhere right away. And I'm trying to get that centered. And then I used Stylish Shapes to cut a circle. And I used the third circle to cut, it's 2 1/8. And this is just like a really, really useful. I use this set all the time, mostly for circles, but I use these others too. So I used the third circle to cut a white circle, and using the set I had, I didn't buy anything new, this is from last year, I stamped the lily in Daffodil Delight, and then I used the black, the Memento black, to stamp Piece I Give to You. So I tried stamping off with the lily and then stamping full strength with the Daffodil Delight, and it didn't really show up that well. I'll show you another one I did. I thought this showed up a little bit better. So I'm going to put some dimensionals just in a line, in a straight line here. I'm going to put my dimensionals. And I'm just going to stick this on here. Kind of get it centered and straightened up. There we go. Okay. So on the back, I've already done my back, but I'm going to write on that first before I stick it on, and then you can either tape it or glue it on, whatever you like. And that looks really nice. You can, if you'd like to stamp another greeting on the back, you can, or partial image, you know, whatever you like. But that's how you make the cross. And I hope that camera didn't switch too early, and that you got to see me make it. Anyway, so that's how you do the cross. So the next thing I have for you that I wanted to share is, then I saw this gal, she was making this card, and she decided to make a candy box. So I'm going to show you quickly how to make a candy box. I don't know, but I have 6 grandkids, and every single one of them love to get candy, so they love my little candy boxes I make. And you can make it into the cross, or I'm going to make, the one I'm going to make today is a little more generic, that you could use for anything, but it's using the same candy box idea. So you can still, I'll show you still how to make this into the cross. And you can see on this one maybe that I stamped the lily really lightly. I stamped off and put the lily on, and then I stamped full strength with my greeting, He Has Risen, like that. Okay, and then I just put some candy in here. I bought these Brock's jelly beans, but these were, I mean, I can cram them in there, but it makes the box bulge. I can open it and dump them in there, and they fit just fine. So you have to kind of be careful what you pick. So I just got some other stuff that fit in the box, because my grandkids aren't picky. If it's candy, they like it. So, yeah. So whatever your grandkids like. In fact, I was going to show you that another thing that fits in here besides candy, if you're a little more health conscious, which one of my daughters is, you can stick something like one of these protein bars. Fits just fine in here, and so if you're a little more health conscious, of course, if you're a grandma, it makes you more popular if you stick candy in there. I'm telling you right now, they like that a lot better. So, candy box. is not that hard. There's just some scoring and stuff you have to do. And so I made a template to show you. So you're going to start out with a piece of cardstock that is 6.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Well, our cardstock already comes 8.5 inches one way, so you don't need to cut that. You just need to cut the 6.5 off. Okay. All the places I have an X, there's 5 of them, you're going to completely cut that off, and I'm going to show you how I did that in just a minute. And you can take your trimmer and you can score these, or you can score it on a simply scored board, whichever you like. And so the first part, you're going to turn it on the 6.5 inch side, and you're going to start by doing a 1/2 inch and score that. And this is just my template so you could see it. So this is at a 1/2 inch, and then I moved it to 2.25 inches. And again, when you put this down, make sure you're using the light colored scoring tool to do the scoring. Otherwise, and the first time I did it, I cut it, you know, because I wasn't paying attention. And then you go to 3.5 inches, and then you go to 5.25 inches to score that side. Then you flip it to the long side, the 8.5 inch side, and you score at 1 inch. And then you go down, and you have to put your arm thing out on this unless you have a scored board. And you go to 6.75 inches, and then you go to 8 inches. Okay, so this is what you end up with when you do all of those scores, and then you start cutting. So I got to make sure I got mine in the right position so I don't cut off something I'm not supposed to. Who knows, right? So I'm just going to cut off these 4 spots at the top. So this is my box, and it fits on here. I'm going to show you when I cut what that looks like. So I'm just going to cut off these 4 boxes at the top. And if you don't cut all the way, just pull it out. It'll come out. And then I cut this really tiny piece down here. I cut this off. Okay. So if I lay this right on top, you can see I cut all of the X's. I cut those off. That's what I cut off. So now this is going to be an edge, and you can glue it, but then you have to hold it. I totally recommend tear and tape because it's really strong and it will hold things like a box together really, really well. And you just have to run a piece of tear and tape down here. And the reason it's called tear and tape, I mean, you can cut it, and sometimes I do when I want it to be just exact, but it just tears pretty easily, like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that there to remind me that I don't want to really cut that. Then I'm going to cut all of these at the bottom on these. I'm going to cut straight up, and I'm going to miter them. And miter means you cut a little triangle out so that it folds easily. If you don't miter, when you fold these in, they have a little difficulty. And I'm going to miter here. So I start my triangle out, and I go to the score line, and I cut these little triangles out. And this is mitering my corners. And I'm going to do that all the way around my box. Of course, I've got glue or something on me here, sticking to me. So I cut straight up on the score line, and then I cut my triangle out. even going to miter these on the edges so that they all, because all of these are going to be folded in, and I don't want them to have excess baggage. Just going to look at my handy dandy directions. Okay, I'm doing it right. Okay. Gonna miter these. Gotta miter these. So that now I have my box. I think I do. I'm sorry. I have to cut these off. Yeah. And then I miter these. That's the mistake I made. Okay. I've only made this once, so, and I did it right the first time. Okay, so now you're going to fold the box. Now it's easier that you take your designer series paper and put it on before you put the box together. So we need two sides, and that's going to be this side and this side, and this is the center, this is the back. So we need two side panels that are 1 1/8 by 5 5/8, and you need to cut 2 of those. Okay. And just again, you're going to use the glue. Let me get this one out of here. You're going to use the glue, and I used, this is my more, out of my 6 grandchildren, 4 of them are boys, so I try to make some boy stuff sometimes, and this candy box will be for one of the boys. So this is Take to the Sky, which I think I have linked in there somewhere. And I used these 2 patterns that kind of go together in Night of Navy. This is Night of Navy, and then I use those 2 patterns to make this one, this box. So I'm just going to put, these are my 2 sides. And like I said, it's easier to put this down before you put your box together. And so I have this kind of cross-hatchy, it's not really plaid. It's just kind of a cross-hatchy. It's got Night of Navy in the background and white in the front. And then it has clouds, which is going to go with my theme that I'm going to use on this box. And of course, all the sides are pretty, but you know. There we go. Okay. So now, to put this box together, I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to make sure this tear and tape is really pressed down. And I usually start in the middle. It's easier for me, and I go out to one of the edges. And so now I've just taken off that top covering, and this is double-sided tape basically, but it's really strong. And I am going to crease my box. Probably should have done that before I did the tear and tape, but I want to be careful not. I can't really run my bone folder over the tear and tape. Should have done that first. Okay, but this will fit together now. And you just bring it evenly. Even up those edges. And press down. And you can even flatten the box, and you can press down with a bone folder now to get that good. And so now I have my box. So then I want to do my bottom, and you just press in the sides, and this is the front, so I want to press the back one down and then the front one down on top of it. And I'm going to use a little piece of tear and tape to seal that shut, just one little piece. I'm going to stick it on the bottom and press that down good. Get it in the middle. Nope, didn't press it down good enough. There we go. Okay. So I just fold my side flaps in, press that back, and there's the bottom of my box. Doesn't want to stick real good because I don't have any pressure on it. I'm going to stick my bone folder in there so I can press it down a little bit better, and then it should hold. Now the top, you press them in. You're not going to put any tear and tape on this because you want them to be able to open their box. You just fold the sides in, and they're already mitered, and you fold the top. The top has a little tab on it, and it folds in, and you have your candy box, and you can do whatever you want with your candy box. Now, if you want on the candy box, you can put a cross on it. Just put a crossbar on it. I'm sorry, I'm just pressing numbers on my insulin pump because my blood sugar is too low. So, you know, if I pass out, just carry on. So the crossbar is a little bigger to make it the dimensions commensurate. So this crossbar is 4 1/4 inches across and 1 3/4 inches down. 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. And I used the Night of Navy. And then I used this one, which was 4 inches across and 1 1/2 inches, so just a little bit smaller. And you can put the cross on there like that. Well, I decided just to make this particular box. I'm not going to make it a cross. I mean, you can, but I'm going to put a focal point. I made a focal point, and like I said, I have 4 grandsons, so I want to make some boxes for them, just because. And you know, I like to be the favorite grandma, so anyway, I went back to my stylish shapes, and I cut Night of Navy. I used the second circle, and then I cut the basic white. I used the white circle to cut those. So those are just, you know, larger and then smaller. And I went to my stamp set that I have, and they had some clouds that I could stamp on my circle. So I stamped off to make the clouds be lighter, and then I stamped with full strength, flying by to say hi. And then I stamped and cut out the little plane to put on there, and I put that on dimensionals so it would kind of pop out a little bit. And you can color it if you want. I thought it looked okay because it's so small. I thought it looked just fine with that. But I would put some dimensionals on the back of my plane, or my circles, to stick it on my candy box. Just like that. And it would still look good if it had the cross underneath it. It still serves as a candy box. It's really cute. You can make a little tag with their name on it. Anyway, those are the dimensions for the candy box. And I hope you like that. I love stuff like that. I like three-dimensional projects like that. Just really cute, and just pops open, and like I said, you can put a protein bar in there, candy, whatever you like. Right? So now I'm going to flip the camera up intentionally instead of unintentionally. There we go. So thank you for joining me today for our projects, for the cards that we did today. We did this cross card, and we did the candy box. Don't forget that to enter my drawing for the paper pumpkin kit, for the March paper pumpkin kit, you every $50 gets you another entry in the drawing. So, you know, you get as many entries in there that you would like. And at the end of the month, I will, or it'll probably be April 1st, that I'll do the drawing online here on my my live, because the 31st is on a Sunday. And so I'll draw, and then I'll get you your prize if you win that drawing. Okay? All right. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your support. Oh, I was going to talk about one more thing. Facebook is changing their rules about lives, and they're no longer going to stay on there for like ever, like they did before. So some people are totally not going to do lives on Facebook anymore. I think I'm still going to do them, even though they're going to take them out of after, I think it's 90 days is what they said they were going to do. On YouTube, your live stays there forever. But on Facebook, after 90 days, they're going to delete them. And so some people are not going to do, man, I got a tickle in my throat. Excuse me. They're not going to do Facebook, but I think I'm going to do that because, frankly, my people are on Facebook. And I am getting, I would like to get more followers on YouTube. And so even if you're on my Facebook, if you would follow me on YouTube, I would love it, and subscribe, because that helps my algorithm over there. But for now, I'm not going to dump Facebook. I mean, I'm going to keep my Facebook business page so I can post things there and what I'm doing. But I know some people are going to stop making their videos on Facebook simply because Facebook is changing the rules so much. So I'm thinking I'm probably still going to stay on it, just because I have a lot of people on there that do follow me. But even if you follow me on Facebook, like I said, I would love it if you would jump over to YouTube. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And subscribe to Snake River Stamping over there. My link is if you're already on YouTube, it's below. If you're on Facebook, it's above me. And subscribe to my channel there because it does help my business grow. So thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy it. And today's card and your candy box, and I hope you make some. And if you do, post pictures on my Facebook page. I would love to see what you come up with, what paper you use, what designs you decide to use. Okay, we will talk to you